Hey everyone! So in a world of, well, phones get bigger and bigger, I find myself constantly coming back to this. This is the iPhone 12 mini, and in 2025, it feels less like an old phone and more like an artifact. A relic from a time when Apple tried something truly different, something unique. This was the first time Apple ever released a mini series iPhone, and it was a pretty big deal. But as you probably know, it didn't last long. Apple discontinued the mini line after the 13 mini, mostly because they just didn't sell in the numbers Apple wanted. So the question is, 5 years after it first launched, does this tiny powerhouse still have a place? Is it still a viable phone, or is it just a novelty item for collectors? Let's find out. You know, the reason I really fell in love with this thing is the nostalgia. It just takes me right back to this little guy, the original iPhone SE. And when you put them side by side, it's honestly incredible how close they are in spirit. Let's get specific for a second. The original SE was about 124 millimeters tall and weighed just 113 grams. This iPhone 12 mini is 131.5 millimeters tall and weighs 135 grams. So yeah, it's a tiny bit taller and a little heavier, but we're talking about a difference that you can feel but you can't really complain about. It's still a true one-handed phone, something that's basically extinct now. But here's the magic. Where the old SE gave you a 4-inch LCD screen with these huge bezels, the 12 mini gives you a 5.4-inch edge-to-edge Super Retina XDR display. It's an OLED, and the difference is, well, it's night and day. You're getting a 476 pixels per inch pixel density. For comparison, the old SE was at 326 ppi. Text is sharper. Blacks are true black because it's an OLED and the colors just pop. It has a massive contrast ratio and can hit 1200 nits of peak brightness for HDR content. It's a proper high density flagship level screen that's, genuinely comfortable to look at even for hours. And it's not just the screen, the build quality is still top notch. You have the flat aluminum sides, which I love, a ceramic shield front that's tougher than most glass, and it has an IP68 water resistance rating for up to 6 meters for 30 minutes. That's a huge step up from the 1 meter rating on the old SE. It's this combination of a classic manageable size with a truly modern beautiful display that makes it so unique. Now, the other part of the mini magic is that Apple didn't skimp on the engine. This phone has the exact same A14 Bionic chip as the regular iPhone 12 and even the 12 Pro and Pro Max models. And in 2025, guys, this thing is still incredibly fast. I was curious, so I ran a Geekbench 6 test and you can see the results right here. As you can see, the iPhone 12 mini score does not have a significant difference with the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro. I mean, it does have a difference, but it's not like the new phones are twice as fast in single core performance, which is what you feel most of the time. And that's the key for what I use this phone for. And to be clear, this isn't my main iPhone, it's my companion iPhone. For scrolling social media, browsing, playing some casual games, it's just flawless. There's no stutter, no lag. The A14 has aged like fine wine. It really proves that for daily use, this phone is indeed very capable in everything I do. And the best part? It's still getting software updates. As of right now, it officially supports iOS 26. I actually did a video on my experience using iOS 26 on this iPhone, which I'll link if you want to check that out. This means you're getting critical security patches and new features for at least a few more years, which is huge for a phone that's technically 5 years old. That software longevity is something you just don't get anywhere else. Okay, let's talk cameras. Is the iPhone 12 mini going to compete with the 2025 flagship that has a massive sensor and a periscope zoom lens? Of course not. But is it still a fantastic camera for daily life? Absolutely. You're working with a dual 12 megapixel system, you have a standard wide lens with a nice bright f1.6 aperture and optical image stabilization, and you have an ultra wide with a 120 degree field of view. For video, it can shoot in 4K at up to 60 FPS and even supports Dolby Vision HDR, which honestly still looks amazing today. But the specs don't tell the whole story. There's a certain look to the photos from this phone. Thanks to its processing like Smart HDR3, the images are vibrant, sharp, and just really pleasing. I've actually seen some people on forums say they prefer the look of the 12's photos to some of the newer, sometimes oversaturated iPhones. It has that classic, reliable iPhone look that just works. where it shows its ages in really challenging low light. Newer phones with bigger sensors are just gonna pull in more light and produce a cleaner image. And you don't have a dedicated telephoto lens, so all your zooming is digital, which means you lose quality pretty fast. But for the 90% of photos you take in decent light, it's an absolute champ. The front camera is also a solid 12 megapixels and shoots 4K video, so your selfies and FaceTime calls are still great. Alright, now we need to talk about the downside. I mean, the one big compromise you make for this incredible size, and that is the battery. My only real complaint with this phone is the battery life. It's not very good. On this unit, which has 86% battery health, I can reliably get about 4 hours of screen on time from a full 100% charge. For my casual use, that's it. And I'm not alone. This is the number one thing people talk about online when it comes to the 12 mini. The battery itself is tiny. The capacity is just 2027 mAh. For a very light user, you might make it through the day, but for anyone else, you'll be reaching for a charger or a MagSafe battery pack by mid-afternoon. But here's how I think about it, and how Apple probably thought about it. This is the price of admission. It's just reasonable. You can't have a phone this small and light without a smaller battery. It's not a flaw in the design. It's a fundamental trade-off. Apple just couldn't do much more given the physics of it all, and that reality is what really defines who this phone is for in 2025. So let's bring it all together. The iPhone 12 mini in 2025. It has a timeless, truly pocketable design. It has a beautiful modern OLED screen. It has performance that is still frankly fantastic for everyday use. And it has a charming and capable camera system. But it has a battery that demands compromises. So should you buy it? Like I said, this iPhone 12 mini is not my main iPhone. This is just my companion iPhone. It's the phone I grab when I want to do a lot of things but want something light and small but still powerful. It's for when I want to scroll social media, play casual games, or just browse the web. It's perfect for the digital minimalist, the person with smaller hands who's been completely ignored by the market for years, or someone who just wants a great second phone to stay in the Apple ecosystem. If you're looking for one phone to do everything and last all day from morning to night, this probably isn't it. You might be better off looking for an iPhone 13 mini for its slightly better battery, or just a newer, larger iPhone. But if you identify with that companion phone idea, if you miss the feeling of a phone that truly comfortably fits in your hand, then the iPhone 12 mini isn't just worth it. It's special. It's a unique piece of Apple history that, in my opinion, still absolutely shines. But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Is there still a place for the Mini in 2025, or is it just a fond memory? Let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.